Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Melody Llama, and you know what, it's been a while since we did a Naruto versus video or a Naruto ranked video, and today we have the 5 Kage. Now, we're going to be ranking the 5 Kage from weakest to strongest, and I gotta say right off the bat, this wasn't a very easy video to do. The main reason is because when it comes to Naruto, it's a lot easier to talk about 1v1s versus ranking the characters because matchups really do matter in this franchise. In other words, I'm basically saying that just because one person is above the other person doesn't mean that I necessarily think that that specific individual can beat all the people under them. Again, matchups do matter. Now, I will talk about the versatility of a lot of these people because how we rank them is based on, for me at least, who can usually beat more people than the other person. So, say if Tsunade can beat at least 3 of the 4, then I'm going to put her higher than somebody who can beat Tsunade but can really only beat her and loses to the others. That's how we're going to go about the ranking. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time and get right into the details. We're going to talk about Tsunade first, as she is the Hokage, and let's talk about her regen / durability. I think it's safe to say that aside from like the 6 paths characters, Tsunade probably has the best regeneration out of everyone. Maybe Orochimaru surpasses her as well, as he's able to kind of just like summon a clone of himself out of his own mouth, some really weird shit. But Tsunade is able to survive being cut in half by Madara. Now, I know a lot of people use this feat though as like oh, you can cut her in half and it won't like matter. It will matter, like she will be down from the fight, but it goes to show how good the regeneration is and how good her survivability is that she did live through that. She couldn't keep fighting, but she could live through it. What she did live through and continue to fight through was getting stabbed multiple times. I think easily Tsunade does have the best quote-unquote durability out of everyone on the list. I know that there are 2 other individuals with great durability, but I'm just talking just raw body. Tsunade is going to be able to take the most damage out of everyone here. Let's talk about her strength though, and her strength is no joke either. Even in part 1, she was doing some ridiculous shit like smashing walls and stuff like that, beating the crap out of Orochimaru in a 1v1. But what she pulled off in Shippuden was ridiculous. She was able to crack the Susanoo. Now granted, the Susanoo was weakened throughout the battle, but it's still really insane that she was capable of accomplishing this. But I suppose I should talk about this feat a little more, because I think Tsunade has one of the most misunderstood and wanked feats, and that is this one here. So really, it's not that impressive a feat. We understand that it's Madara, but there's a couple things to note. For one, we know that the Mizukage is very good at weakening Susanoos. We saw that back in the 5 Kage Summit when Mei was able to weaken Sasuke's ribcage. Another thing to consider is that it was really only a ribcage, and it took multiple attacks from multiple people just to crack the damn thing. And none of this really even matters when you remember that Madara is not really even trying here. So it's not that big of a feat. The next thing we're going to go on about is Tsunade's speed, and honestly, there is nothing too impressive. The only thing you could say is that she should be, I want to say, like, lightning timer. Usually the Sannin are. I'd be shocked if Orochimaru and Jiraiya were these lightning speed characters and Tsunade didn't follow suit. Do I put her in the same group into light speed? I don't think so. She has really no feats to prove that she is. I would put her at, like, lightning level, probably. I don't want to use this against her, but the Asura path does kind of almost blitz Tsunade, and then Sage Naruto proceeds to blitz both of them. Tsunade is weakened at this point, so take with that what you will. I don't know if you want to say Sage Naruto is faster, and if he is, that's not too much of a bad thing. I wouldn't call Sage Naruto a light speed character either. Probably that lower lightning level, just like Tsunade, but it makes sense. It all checks out. Where we're going to get into 2 other things about Tsunade. One of those things being the ability to stop people's movements. She does this against Kabuto very briefly. There is no extent of strength. We don't know if this is like dependent on how strong the opponent is or stuff like that. Kabuto wasn't exactly one of the most impressive fighters back in part 1, so take with that what you will as well, but it's a solid technique. Where I think Tsunade is going to shine the best, obviously, is going to be with Katsuyu. Katsuyu is a Sannin level summoning. Do I think it's the strongest of the summonings? Probably not in combat. It's probably weaker than both Manda and Gamabunta, but Katsuyu is still a monster in of itself, shooting powerful assets that can melt stone. So yeah, Katsuyu is a good summoning. That's probably going to be Tsunade's best bet here. Moving on to the next village, we have the Sand Village's Kage, Gaara. And Gaara's mainly about durability, is what you would think. We're going to get into one of Gaara's most underrated attributes in a second, but let's talk about his durability. So, there's one statement I want to get out the way immediately. There are people that say that Gaara's defenses are stronger than a Susanoo. I tried to find this source and I couldn't find it. If it's out there, let me know. I didn't know. I heard people say this, but I couldn't find the source. So I don't know if it's bullshit or not, but yeah, let's just leave that out. As far as his shields go, it did tank Datara's bombs, who, you know, has these like tailed beast level bombs, right? Like Datara is tasked to destroy tailed beast, and he usually does it by just blasting them with explosives, and Gaara is able to guard a lot of these explosives. So Gaara's kind of crazy, and keep in mind this is back in the Kage rescue arc, which was a while back, and Gaara has increased in all attributes since then. His strength and speed has gotten up tremendously, and I would be shocked if his defenses didn't, especially now that he has the Mother Shield as well. So you could arguably say that Gaara is packing some Tailed Beast level durability, Tailed Beast plus. Already in the start of Part 2, his defenses could have been argued to be in that Tailed Beast tier. In the War Arc, far surpassing that. If you want more proof, just a small amount of sand. No shield, no Mother Shield, no, you know, the shield that he uses against Kimimaro, nothing like that. Just regular sand was able to guard a leg drop from the Raikage. Okay, so that's insane. The Raikage is arguably in strength. If you scale the 4th Raikage to the third is able to fight the 8 Tails, and Raikage himself is able to have a lariat battle against Killer Bee. So again, Gaara's defense is extremely underrated. As far as how strong Gaara is, like attack potency wise, there isn't a lot to go off of this, but Rasa does state that he matches, if not surpasses, the first tail. So an entire tailed beast. Keep in mind, this is the same Shukaku that fought against Gamabunta, Sannin level summoning. So Gaara's strength might be underrated. We don't know really quantifiably how strong he is, so you have to make an educated guess. He's going to be on that tailed beast level of strength. I would say around that Datara level. I think this is obviously impressive because of certain things, such as like the volume of sand that he's able to throw out, the way he can manipulate it, the amount of versatility that comes with Gaara's abilities, such as the sand tsunami, the sand mausoleum, burying people with the sand shower, sand walls, just all sorts of different sand abilities. Yeah. Strength-wise, not the highest. Definitely not Tsunade, but still very strong. But where Gaara, I think, is very underrated in is his speed. Gaara is, weirdly enough, one of the faster characters in the War Arc. And I'm going to tell you 3 feats where he actually scales to light speed. So for one, he's able to react to both the Raikage and Sasuke attacking each other, which would be faster than just reacting to the Raikage. He's reacting to both moving towards each other. So really crazy they're already reacting to the Raikage. Then he has the fact that, you know, while he's, I believe he's guarding the Shinobi Alliance, he catches the 3rd Raikage and all the other Kages at the same time. The 3rd Raikage couldn't even react to it. More so, he's able to do the same thing to Madara when he yoinks him out the damn Susanoo. So, more light speed feats for Gaara. And if you want more simple, when he's in the sand cloud, he's able to run alongside KCM Naruto, who's in a hurry. We're in wartime, so Gaara and Naruto need to move as fast as they possibly can, and Gaara's able to keep up. So, Gaara Sand, no joke, is a light speed ability. And speaking of the sand cloud, it's going to be one of the more important things considering it provides him flight. He's pretty much going to be the only one that's going to be flying alongside Onoki. But let's jump to our next guy. We have the Raikage, a A's power is the first thing we're going to talk about, and weirdly enough, it's kind of difficult to gauge how strong the fourth Raikage is. He was able to like damage a rib cage, which is very solid. Enough hits was doing the same thing that people glaze Tsunade for doing it, but the Raikage was kind of doing it back in the Five Kage summon. You can argue Madara's rib cage is stronger, and I would agree, but considering the fact that Madara wasn't really trying, it's unquantifiable how much stronger it is than Sasuke's in the state that Madara was using it. The best thing you can give the Raikage is that maybe he's able to knock out like the 8 tails, the full 8 tails or something like that, if you like want to say that his strength is that of the third, but I don't know, it's kind of weird giving him a feat from his father. It doesn't really check out, especially since, there are statements that say that the third Raikage is stronger than the fourth. I don't really care about that position. If you want to say the fourth Raikage is stronger, that's fine, like he would win in a fight, but I cannot give him a third Raikage feat. As far as durability goes, I mean, he tanked the Chidori. That's really good. In fact, he like chops his own arm off and like doesn't really give a damn, so he does have a lot of survivability. He can, again, lose a whole hand. It's just like, I'm going to keep fighting. So, clearly, he doesn't have, like, nerves or some shit like that because he does not give a fuck. So, yeah, there you go. That's going to be A's durability. That's the best I can do here. But I guess we should talk about how strong the Chidori is then. The Chidori, it's weaker than the Lightning Blade. The Lightning Blade was able to kill Kakazu. The Chidori is also a weirdly unquantifiable thing. It's also weaker than the Rasengan. So, I don't know how impressive tanking the Chidori is. Maybe I'm forgetting a Chidori feat. But obviously, the Raikage's bread and butter is really his speed. The guy is able to dodge Amaterasu, which is in that upper lightning, if not light speed. So that's already crazy. And he fought against KCM Naruto. Hell, the guidebooks state that his lariat is light speed. There's really no arguing if the Raikage is light speed or not. He's going to be the fastest guy, or tied as the fastest guy. We'll talk about that a little more in a bit. But yeah, Raikage light speed, you can't really argue with that. The next person we're going to... Oh, before we move on, let's talk about the Raikage's versatility or lack thereof. He really doesn't have any other ability besides the fact the guy moves really fucking quick and hits decently hard. I don't know what to tell you. We're going to move on to the next person who kind of sucks. We have the Mizukage Mei. Mei, the best thing I could say about Mei is that she's able to weaken the Susanoo. I don't know if that's like a matchup thing, like it just works well against the Susanoo. I don't know what that would do to, like, I don't know, your skin or some shit. I don't know. She has good AoE lava style. I can't really say anything here. She just kind of sucks. She's easily the person that performs the worst against Madara. She really doesn't have much going for her. I mean, she can use water style and fire style. So that, that's something. We don't really see like anything crazy from either of the two styles, though. I don't know. Lava style seems pretty good, but it can't... I don't know. Mei doesn't seem to be able to do much with it. Let's move on to the Tsuchikage, shall we? Okay. Onoki. Onoki, for one, he can fly. That's going to give him a huge advantage in this fight, obviously, especially since 2 of the 5 fighters are these close-ranged kind of guys. Onoki's strength, he's able to carry Turtle Island. In fact, there's a fear that he might actually be able to destroy the island, which is just wild. Hell, lifting the island is kind of crazy. Like, he might just be able to, like, grab Raikage and, like, launch him 50 feet in the air. So that is honestly his... I don't know if that's his least impressive thing. Let's talk about his durability. I mean, this guy tanked 2 fucking meteors, okay? Crashing straight to his dome. That is so wild. I don't even know what to say about that. That's just insane. I want you to keep in mind, by the way, that Onoki is already kind of hurt in the battle of the 5 Kage because of the 2 meteors. He's the person who's been fighting the longest. He fights all the other Kages. Gaara does too, but Gaara doesn't take half the damage Onoki did. Onoki was out there taking belt to ass and still going. As far as his speed goes, there wasn't a whole lot to go over. I think the best feat Onoki has is blitzing Sasuke in the 5 Kage Summit. Granted, this Sasuke is weakened, but Sasuke at this point is close to that light speed already, if not already there. I don't know if he's KCM Naruto fast. He's probably really close, and Onoki seems to be close around there as well. He has one of the better feats. I think he is the third fastest on this list, behind the Raikage and Gaara's sand. Obviously, Gaara's movement speed is going to be different, but his reaction time and his sand light speed, Onoki's probably a little under that. He's also able to continuously fight people like Deidara. You know, Deidara also fought Heavy Sasuke, who's close to that light speed. So, again, gotta give Onoki credit here. Hell, Madara even states that Onoki's the biggest problem out of the 5 of them. And I know that may seem like that means that he is the strongest. We'll get into that. But also keep in mind about that statement is that Onoki is, again, hurt still in the 5 Kage battle. The last 2 things we're going to talk about when it comes to Onoki is, number 1, his ability to make people very heavy. He does this to Mu. And speaking of Mu, the Raikage states that, you know, Onoki has to handle Mu because no one else is going to be capable of doing that. Take with that what you will. We'll bring that up a little later. And then the final thing is, obviously, fucking particle style. It's one of the most ridiculous jutsu in the entire franchise. It's able to vaporize everything. He can do this in cubes. The AoE is huge. He's able to wipe out multiple Susanoo's. He can use it as a laser to destroy part of Madara's forest. It is ridiculous. And considering the fact that it blitzed Sasuke, meaning it's close to that light speed level, it is going to be massive. I do think that people like the Raikage can dodge out of it, but it's not going to bode so well for everybody else. So let's just jump into it. Let's talk about the actual rankings. Number 5, we're easily going to have Mei. Mei has nothing really. If we're looking at matchups wise, Mei is going to get blitzed by Gaara's sand and probably put into a sand burial and she's fried. The Raikage is going to lariat her head right out of her torso. And Lava Style could do something to Tsunade maybe, but I imagine it would go something like Katsuyu and her would clash with acid and lava, and then Tsunade would just pick Mei off. You know, she just doesn't have enough to really push Tsunade back. And then finally we have Onoki, who's just flying up in the air and particle styling her into oblivion. So Mei is easily number 5. Now number 4, this is pretty much where the list gets kind of crazy. I'm okay with you guys thinking somebody else is number 4 and however the list goes. But number 4, we have the Raikage A. The Raikage is just simply not versatile enough. Yes, he's faster than Tsunade, but with Katsuyu, I don't know necessarily if Raikage has the strength to put Katsuyu out in a single blow. Not to mention Katsuyu is able to break itself into multiple different pieces. Tsunade has incredible durability. I don't know if Raikage is going to be able to put her out versus vice versa. I think Tsunade can potentially put Raikage out. I don't think that Tsunade is as strong as a Susanoo. It is a ridiculous thing to say that. In fact, I don't even think she's strong enough to break the rib cage. But she should be stronger than a Chidori. And I just think that Tsunade has way more versatility. Another thing to note is that Raikage is close ranged. If Tsunade is able to grab him and shut him down the same way she did Kabuto, that's going to be a huge problem for the Raikage. I'm going to have him at number 4. And as far as Gaara goes, he couldn't even break through regular sand. He's not breaking through the higher end armors, and the sand is likely catching the Raikage. The Raikage is not smart enough either to deal with the sand and how tricky it can be. Raikage is losing that. Taking the bronze medal, we have Lady Tsunade, the Hokage. Lady Tsunade is another case where her feats are just not very quantifiable. She has good healing, and that's the best thing she has going for her. Strength is not too quantifiable. We don't know if it's going to be enough to take out Onoki, because Onoki took 2 meteors to the fucking dome. And maybe it could take out Gaara, but the problem is hitting Gaara. Gaara's way too fast. His defenses are maybe too strong. We don't know if Tsunade even has the strength to break those. Let alone the Mother Shield and stuff like that. I just don't see a world where Tsunade takes care of somebody like Gaara. And yes, we have Katsuyu, but the volume of sand Gaara can put out, even as a child when he fought Kimimaro, he engulfs the entire field in sand. It's very likely that Katsuyu and Tsunade are getting buried. And You could argue that, how are you going to put her out? I think a sand burial or a sand mausoleum might be enough. He can seal her as well. There's a lot of things Gaara can get done here. I just don't see it. And as far as Onoki goes, I mean, how does Tsunade even hit Onoki, right? Like, sure, she can regenerate and so can Tatsuyu, but particle style, dude, that thing is, you're not going to heal from being atomized. You're cooked. The silver medal does go to, drum roll please, this one, I'll honestly say, I'm not too sure. The reason I say this is because it is a matchup thing. I'm going to say that number 2 is Gaara. Gaara is extremely fast with his sand. We already established a couple light speed feats, and his defenses are insane. The problem is, his best attribute being the defense, it's not really going to matter if it's being atomized, right? Gaara could potentially dodge it, but in laser form, it may just be too difficult. Keep in mind that Raikage said that no one's going to be able to stop Mu unless it's Onoki, and Gaara was there. And take it as someone who doesn't even like Onoki, okay? I don't really fuck with this guy. I love Gaara, though, but I don't see how Gaara can win this fight. I think Onoki's just a counter for everyone on this list. We have two guys that, quite frankly, are close range fighters. Mei is ass, and Gaara, his best part of is his shield. Maybe you can argue that Gaara, because he has the faster sand, while Onoki's speed feats aren't the greatest, you can say that maybe that means Gaara can, catch him with his sand and bury him and, perhaps seal him. There's a possibility that Gaara can win. I'm not against that either. But Onoki, if he even touches Gaara, which would be difficult, he could weigh the sand a ton. Speaking of weighing the sand, he could just weigh Gaara's sand too. That's another thing he's capable of doing. So I'm going to give this to Onoki. Onoki takes the gold medal. I'm okay with Gaara being first. I just think of this as, I don't know if it's a good matchup. That's it. That is me ranking the 5 Kage from weakest to strongest. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with my take? Was there any feats I was missing, or do you feel like there's something that could counter something else that I forgot to bring up? Let me know down below. Again, guys, this is just my opinion. I'm not the fucking writer of Naruto. This is just how I perceive their abilities matching up against each other. Don't get too butthurt. I'm not a fucking Naruto debater, bro. I just power scale because it's fun. That's how it should be. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. Most importantly, share the video. Bring it out to more people. Surpassing 500 subscribers. Again, thank y'all so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. Bye.